I was born in the Greens. I grew up in the Greens. You know what I'm saying? I got a name out there too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got a chance to get in the field, but I was just doing bad shit. Little baby kid shit, you feel me? I came southbound when I was like mid-teens. My OG always been out south, so I've been knowing all my brothers that's from out south since I was a puppy, you feel me? My grandma still stayed up north. And my OG moved southbound when they knocked our bills down.
Surveillance cam was caught the last shocking moments of Chicago drill rapper THF Zoo's life. The 35-year-old OTF affiliate, famous for dodging multiple murder cases and spitting raw street anthems, never saw what was coming in that parking lot. But what really went down that day? Who was the man behind the myth? Before diving into the chaos of that October afternoon, we need to understand exactly who Da Vinci Collier truly was. Known in the streets as THF Zoo, Bay Zoo, or Big Boss Zoo, he wasn't just another rapper swept up in Chicago's endless gang wars. He was a street legend, a name that carried both fear and respect. In the drill world, Zoo wasn't just surviving, he was defying every odd thrown his way.
You know, I beat my body January 2018. And Vaughn beat this shit a month after. And Durk flew us down here, you feel me, took us shopping and shit. And I said it on my No Jump interview, you know, we was just really just in the basement. On Durk Live, we set a live up there. They was like, damn, Zoo and Vaughn just beat they murder a month apart from me. Tell y'all should do a song. And Buka and Ike was playing with a motherfucker like, man, y'all ass ain't no shit. Ooh, they telling y'all ass to rap. And Vaughn ass like, man, shit, call the engineer. So they called the engineer, you know what I'm saying? Man, Vaughn just that bitch just playing. We ain't even write that beat the body. We just going back and forth, and that ended up being one of my hottest songs.
Until one day, his luck finally ran out. Born on May 24th, 1990, right in the heart of one of Chicago's wildest neighborhoods, Da Vinci's life was shaped from day one by the chaos around him. The Cabrini Green projects weren't just home. They were his classroom, his playground, and his battlefield. For those who don't know, Cabrini Green wasn't just rough. It was a war zone. Fear walked every hallway. Gunshots replaced lullabies, and childhood dreams rarely made it past the block. The streets showed no mercy to young Da Vinci, but they taught him fast. In his own words, he once said he developed a passion for crime before he even knew what real danger was. Imagine that, a kid running around causing mayhem, shooting BB guns at taxis, throwing rocks at cars.
Maybe more, maybe less, bro. Like, I spent a lot of time, man. I've been going to jail since a juvenile, since I was 13, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I tried to do the math myself, like just putting all the time together, the real bids and shit. It's like 12 out of my life, shit, then half of my life, you feel me? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I ain't get a chance to experience life for real till I turned like 12, 13, so like, hell yeah, I stayed in trouble as a shorty, man. That's all. I stayed in some shit, bro. Like, my background shot like a motherfucker, but like as far as being convicted, I ain't got no deep convictions, you get what I'm saying? I got two gun convictions. Both of them unconstitutional though right now.
And even setting stray dogs free from cages just to watch the madness unfold. This wasn't harmless fun. It was the start of a story that would shake Chicago's streets forever. This wasn't just rebellion. This was survival training dressed up as chaos. Every wild move Zoo made was shaping him for a world that showed no mercy. But just as he was stepping into adulthood, life hit him with something that would change him forever. On May 24th, 2011, tragedy struck hard. Zoo's brother Guta lost his life in a heartbreaking accident when a gun went off inside their home, hitting him in the head. Zoo was only 21, and what happened next would haunt him for the rest of his days. In one emotional interview,
"Hey, yo."
I just for the air, John 464-987, 464-987, event 076480764.
Damn, that means they got his ass.
464.
Go ahead.
The vehicle looks like it may be a Honda Accord, newer model, like 2020. And both shooters jumped in the rear, one in the passenger, so there possibly at least 3 heads in the car.
Zoo opened up about a moment so heavy, most people couldn't even imagine going through it. You could feel the pain in every word. It wasn't just grief, it was a wound that never healed. That moment broke something inside him. He admitted that even years later, he never really mourned the way he should have. He said he tried to stay strong for his family, but deep down, he was carrying a storm. That bottled up pain never disappeared. It showed up in other ways, especially in how he dealt with substances, which he spoke about openly as his way of numbing the hurt. Zoo's run-ins with the law started way earlier than most. At just 13 years old, he caught his first big case, an armed robbery in Cairo, Illinois. That move landed him 4.5 years in juvenile detention centers, like Harrisburg.
Shooting taxi cab drivers with BB guns, throwing rocks, going in the stove, snatching shit, running up out of them. I was bad as hell on the shorty. Man, so much shit I can't even think of. Like, I was just doing all bad shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You know, the little dog catcher trucks and shit when they be grabbing the little stray dogs and shit. I used to, you know, they got a little community in the greens with the dogs that I used to be letting the dogs out the bike when I was a shorty, man. Bad as hell, like unlocking the little dog cage, letting their ass hop out the truck, chasing down the street shit. I was just bad as hell.
But that was only the first chapter of a long and rough story behind bars. Over his lifetime, Zoo would end up spending more than 12 years locked up across multiple stints, mostly short county jail stretches for gun cases and other serious charges. Jail became a second home, but Zoo never lost his edge. One of the biggest turning points in Zoo's life came in 2014 when he was arrested at Lil Durk's house for a 2009 murder case. The charge was first-degree murder, serious business. But somehow, in true Zoo fashion, he walked out clean in 2018, beating the case completely. That wild courtroom victory didn't just clear his name, it lit a fire under his music career. Out of that chaos came one of his most famous songs, Beat That Body, featuring King Von, a track that turned into a full-blown street anthem. But with fame came heat. The song wasn't just a hit, it was seen by many as Zoo flexing about beating the murder case. That brought the kind of attention nobody really wants. Cops started watching him harder than ever, treating the track like a confession on beat. Zoo even admitted later that law enforcement made him a bigger target after that song dropped, convinced he was skating past justice. Zoo's street identity was tightly tied to THF, Trigger Happy Family, also known as Tay-Town Hustlers Family. This wasn't just a crew, it was a whole movement.
I just want to change a few people, man. You get what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to knock no for what they doing or how they coming on their blocks, and I really don't get no if it don't concern me or my people, you feel me? But the streets gonna be the streets anyway, bro. I just really want to just, with the youth from 7 to 12, man, and just try to change their mind and give them a reason so they won't be easily influenced into the streets, you know what I'm saying? Give them something to do that they ain't had no chance to do, you know what I'm saying? Because we had a lot of shit to do when we was kids, you feel me? You don't see little 8, 9, 10-year-olds around this motherfucker riding bikes with pads and stunners on them and shit with mag wheels, you feel me? Shit, that the fun shit we did. 9-year-old probably shoot the shit out of another 9-year-old with a bike. This generation different, gang. Like,
originally linked with the Gangsta Disciples, THF eventually flipped sides in the early 2000s, aligning with the Black Disciples. Their zone, Chicago's Kenwood and Bronzeville neighborhoods, especially around 46th Street, an area that carried a fierce reputation. THF had deadly beefs, the worst being with 051 Young Money, a crew connected to the Mickey Cobras. The feud between THF and 051 Young Money became one of the bloodiest in Chicago drill history, with rumors saying over 100 people lost their lives behind that war. It all started around 2008, when a shootout at a McDonald's kicked off years of revenge killings that never seemed to stop. Zoo wasn't just living off his street rep, he was an artist, chasing something bigger than the chaos around him. By the early 2020s, his music career started gaining real traction, thanks to his close bond with Lil Durk and the Only Thing Family Collective.
you know, he was in the house, the gun accidentally went off and shot him in the head or whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's how he passed away. So like, wasn't nobody in my family, as far as the immediate family, who was strong enough to bathe them and wash them up and get them prepared for the services or whatever. So like,
Zoo had known Durk since 2008, and their connection ran deep. Both had faced serious legal battles and somehow made it through. That shared survival built a brotherhood that showed up in their music and loyalty alike. Zoo didn't flood the streets with albums, but the few singles and collabs he dropped hit hard. His catalog wasn't massive, but his impact was undeniable. His emotional track Do It For Von, a tribute to his close friend, racked up over 4 million streams on Spotify. Other fan favorites, like Mad 'Cause I'm Rich, hit 1.1 million, and Get Back is featuring Bona, reached nearly 900,000 streams. Every song was like a snapshot of his life, raw, real, and soaked in survival. His friendship with King Von ran deep too. The two first connected around 2012, and they got even closer while both were doing time. Zoo once said Von's storytelling skills reminded him of Slick Rick, calling him a natural when it came to painting pictures through words. Von also pushed Zoo to take music seriously, telling him his voice could carry real weight in the game. They stayed tight until Von's tragic passing in November 2020, a blow that Zoo never fully recovered from. By October 2025, Zoo had built a serious following, over 180,000 Instagram fans and about 35,000 monthly Spotify listeners. He was finally stepping into the spotlight on his own terms. But even with all his plans for peace, Zoo knew deep down how hard it was to truly escape the life that made him. He talked about it openly, how his name, his past, and his reputation followed him everywhere like a shadow he couldn't shake. No matter how much he tried to start fresh, the streets never really let him go. By October 2025, Da Vinci Kaya had become a man of contradictions, a father of 7, fighting to build a real music career while still carrying the heavy scars of everything he lived through. He was trying hard to break the same cycle he once helped spin, trying to write a new legacy before it was too late. Yet fate had other plans, and that fight for redemption would meet a sudden and brutal end. October 26, 2025, the day everything changed. It started like any other Saturday afternoon in Chicago. Cool air, gray skies, just another fall day that didn't hint at the tragedy waiting to unfold. Around 3 p.m., in a parking lot near the 3100 block of South Lewis Avenue, right in Chicago's Little Village, Zoo was there with 2 other men, one 39, the other 42. What they were doing there isn't fully known. Some reports say they were picking up car parts, others say they were just hanging out. Either way, none of them had a clue what was coming. The spot was nothing special, just a public lot next to Laval Park, a quiet community area surrounded by family homes and kids playing nearby. The kind of place where you never expect violence to erupt. But in Chicago, peace can flip to chaos in a blink. Then, chaos erupted. Armed men jumped out and started blasting without warning. This wasn't some random drive-by or misunderstanding. This was a setup, planned and precise. Whoever pulled up that day came ready to finish a mission. The gunfire tore through the air with deadly purpose, leaving no doubt this was personal. The scene told his own horrifying story. Detectives later found 20 rifle shell casings and 19 9mm casings scattered across the ground. 39 shots in total. That kind of firepower screams multiple shooters, multiple weapons, and one clear intent to kill. Both rifles and handguns were used, showing this wasn't no spur-of-the-moment beef. It was an ambush crafted with cold calculation. 5 nearby cars got riddled with bullets, their glass shattered and metal ripped apart, proof of how wild the spray of shots was. The air must have been filled with nothing but smoke, chaos, and the sound of tires screeching as people ducked for their lives. All 3 men were hit, but not all with the same damage. The 39-year-old caught one in the ankle, while the 42-year-old was hit in the arm, back, and lower body. Both somehow pulled through, later listed in fair condition. But THF Zoo, the man who had cheated death more times than anyone could count, wasn't as lucky this time. Zoo took multiple shots to the abdomen and torso, wounds so severe they left him fighting for every breath. Emergency crews rushed all 3 to Mount Sinai Hospital, with Zoo arriving in critical condition. Doctors threw everything they had to saving him, but the injuries were too much. His body couldn't take any more. But just when it seemed like the story couldn't get any darker, it did. Only a few hours after the shooting, surveillance footage from that same parking lot started spreading across social media faster than anyone could stop it. The video, grainy and silent, turned into one of the most talked about clips in the entire drill scene. It didn't just show tragedy, it sparked a storm of debates about the ethics of posting violent content online and how social media keeps fueling this endless cycle of street revenge. The footage starts off looking harmless, just a few people standing near their cars, chatting it up, nothing out of the ordinary. But then, out of nowhere, things change in an instant. Two figures appear, one rocking a light hoodie, the other dressed in dark clothing, both moving with cold purpose toward the group. What comes next is too graphic to describe in detail, but the video clearly shows the ambush, the attackers opening fire before sprinting away on foot while the victims either duck for cover or drop to the ground. It's the kind of footage that leaves your stomach twisted, the kind that spreads faster than facts ever can. But here's where it gets strange. The footage didn't line up perfectly with the official police reports. Cops had described the shooters rolling up in a vehicle, but the viral clip showed them approaching on foot. That contradiction left people wondering what really happened that day. Was there another camera angle the public hadn't seen? Did the police report miss key details, or did the video itself only capture part of the story? Nobody could say for sure, but one thing was clear: the mystery deepened. Little Village sits on Chicago's southwest side, a mostly Latino neighborhood far from THF's usual territory in Bronzeville and Kenwood on the south side. So when word got out that Zoo had been hit there, people immediately started asking, why was he even in that area? The streets lit up with talk that this wasn't some random hit. Someone had tracked him, knew exactly where he'd be, and planned the ambush down to the minute. The whole thing was bold, almost unreal. An open attack in broad daylight at 3 p.m. in a public parking lot surrounded by homes and families. That kind of move takes either serious confidence or pure desperation, the kind that makes people stop caring about witnesses or cameras. As soon as news broke, the streets and the internet exploded with theories. Given Zoo's long and messy history, the THF ties, the rivalries, the old beefs, there was no shortage of guesses about who could have been behind it. Some claimed it was connected to the ongoing THF versus 051 Young Money War, a feud that's been spilling blood for over a decade. Others whispered about new tensions tied to THF TP's death in 2024, which many believe was connected to a rival black disciple set known as Bash V Crazy. Then came the online chatter, unverified posts on Reddit and drill pages suggesting a wild chain of revenge. According to those reports, THF TP was killed in February 2024, allegedly by someone named Man from Bash V Crazy. Then just a few months later, in June 2024, Man was killed in retaliation. Now with Zoo's death in October 2025, people were saying Bash V Crazy might have been closing the loop, settling the score once and for all. Of course, none of this is officially confirmed. It's the kind of street talk that always fills the gaps when the truth stays locked behind silence. Still, the timing of Zoo's death felt chillingly symbolic to many. Just days later, November 5th, would have been the anniversary of his 2014 arrest for first-degree murder, the same case he famously beat in 2018. To some, it almost felt like fate circling back, like the streets finally caught up with him. Zoo's story didn't just end, it echoed, reminding everyone how fast the streets can turn on even the most untouchable names. If you've been following this story and want to keep up with more real breakdowns like this, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.